Good evening. Please turn off your phones. Welcome to the August 21st, 2024 regular meeting of Eureka Springs Historic District Commission. I'm Dee Bright, Chair. Commissioners present tonight are Maggie Haid, Christine Sanamore, Frank Green, Susan Daniel. Debbie Davis is absent with notice. We have a quorum for business. Eureka Springs Historic Commission is empowered by Eureka Springs Municipal Code to issue a certificate of appropriateness for alterations of exterior architectural features, demolition, and new construction within the boundaries of the Eureka Springs Historic District. The HDC uses Eureka Springs Historic District guidelines and the U.S. Department of Interior standards for the rehabilitation of historic buildings as the basis for our decisions. The Commission can take the following actions on an application: approval with modifications, denial, or deferral for more information. Appeal of denial may be made to the Circuit Court. Public comments will be heard on each agenda item as it is called. Each person may make one comment. Other public comments will be heard during public comment period. Are there any changes or addition to the agenda? And yes.
Yeah, I have one. If we could swap the July 17th minutes for approval and postpone the August 7th minutes for approval.
And I want to add discussion of site visit. For number 5. So do I have somebody to make a motion to approve the agenda as changed and presented?
So moved.
Second.
Maggie made the motion. Christine seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Carries 4-0. Approval of applications does not excuse applicants, owner, or the agent from compliance with any other applicable codes, ordinances, or policies of the City of Eureka Springs. Old business. To Judah McGuire, owner applicant. New business. Level 3, 279 Spring, Gherkin, owner /TS Construction applicant. Level 2, 176 Spring,
I think it's Breckelbaum.
Breckelbaum, owner /Travis Holloway Company applicant. Level 3, 19 Fairmont, Wright, owner Travis Holloway applicant, new construction. Level 2, Crystal Terrace Bridge, Parks Department owner /applicant. Level 2, 66 Mountain, Nunez, owner Primerton applicant. Okay. First thing is old business. It is to Judith McGuire, owner applicant. Could you come up and state your name and address, please?
Terry McGuire, 103 East Van Buren, Eureka Springs.
Kyle, do you have?
Yeah, so we looked at the application for 2 Judah at the last meeting, postponed a decision for a site visit. Mr. McGuire has also submitted a modified design plan, taking into consideration some of the notes that he heard from the commission and the public at the last meeting. So on your packet, right after the agenda, is his modified design plan. Option number 2 is his preference. He did take into consideration the staff report's concerns of not oriented facing the street. He has modified this design plan, taking that into consideration, and I feel it's an appropriate step towards meeting the guidelines.
Is that the water? We have a leak going clear across the auditorium here from a pipe, apparently. Okay, does any of the commissioners have comments? We did have a site visit at this tonight. We deferred it for site visit. Any questions?
Question, why did he want to go from 8 units to 9 units?
Well, we're incurring
Maybe I need to phrase that differently.
we're incurring some extra expense here in several things that we have done and are doing. Our goal is to have affordable housing, and if we can add a unit, which the site fits that and does work on the site with these revisions that we've made. So we're requesting that that be okay. From a cost standpoint, it's going to assist the project in everything that we can to make it affordable, which is our goal.
Did you make a new, I need somebody to make a motion so we can discuss. I'm looking through last time's packet.
Sorry, the original application is in that folder in front of Frank there, with the motion there. Sorry. Yeah, just the same motion
Read that.
as amended rather than as presented.
Okay, I move that the Eureka Springs Historic District Commission issue a certificate of appropriateness for 2 Judah as proposed based on the agreed-upon summary of facts and presented. That's presented. Do a second?
Do I? Okay, discussion now. I'm sorry, you asked your question, but now, any other questions or of the gentleman? Okay, Frankie made the motion, Maggie seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Motion carries 4-0. The next will be 279 Spring.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you. Non-contributing property owner Jim Gherkin, applicant TS Construction. Do we have someone here to represent? Is anybody here to represent 279 Spring Street? We don't have any.
It does not look like we have anybody, but I can go ahead and do the staff report.
Okay.
And then if there's any concerns, we can address that. 279 Spring Street is non-contributing to the historic district. Earlier this year, it was destroyed by fire. Built about the 1960s, does not contribute to the historic district, and staff does recommend approval of this agenda item.
So they plan on tearing the whole thing down?
Here, motion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, sorry, go ahead and make your motion.
Okay. I move that the Eureka Springs Historic District Commission issue a certificate of appropriateness for 279 Spring as proposed and the agreed-upon summary of facts as presented.
Second. Do I have a second?
Christine.
Christine? Now, questions and discussion.
Yes, sorry, Frank. Yes, total demolition on the entire structure.
Okay.
Any other questions or discussion?
Is it going to be disposed of with big trucks, or how are they going to get rid of?
Yes, his intention is to bring in large trucks and load them up, yeah.
Frank made the motion, Christine seconded it. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0. 176 Spring. It's a non-contributing building. Anybody present? Hi, Travis. Can you state your name and address, please?
Travis Holloway, 895 County Road 214.
Thank you, and Kyle will read the summary facts.
Application for 176 Spring Street is to rehabilitate the front porch, window, and addition to the back porch with a spiral staircase. The property is non-contributing to the historic district, built about 1909. Because of the significant changes that have been done in the past, the changes are significant enough it's no longer contributing. The proposed renovation does meet with design guidelines, and staff does recommend this for approval.
Do I have a motion so we can discuss?
I move that the Eureka Springs Historic District Commission issue a certificate of appropriateness for 176 Spring Street as proposed, based on the agreed-upon summary of facts as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion or questions for Travis?
Okay, let's see here. This is 176. Yes. Hi, Travis.
Hey, Frank.
This is great, Travis.
I think it looks nice also.
I know, this house is going to go back to the original state.
It looked a lot nicer, closer to what it was originally.
Yes, that's good. And it's just the front elevation?
Front elevation and a back deck also, because there's a door on the second story on the back, but there's no deck.
Now, doesn't that house have old 1970s aluminum siding on
Have what?
it? Aluminum siding?
It does have aluminum siding. It's got
It
the big
does?
column on the front.
Are you taking that off?
No,
No?
not the siding, not at this point. We may come back for that, but
It'd be nice if they took that off and brought it back to the original.
I could ask the Dreckelbaums about it, but right now we're just doing a front deck, some interior renovation, and a back deck.
It's just, you never know what you'll find underneath that. It's been up there a long time.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, Maggie made the motion, Susan seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Okay, 19 Fairmont is also a non-contributing. Bruce and Lynn Wright, applicant the same. Are you here too? Oh, you again, Travis, hi.
I thought it was 21.
Okay. Kyle?
It's doing this too.
Yep. Kyle, you want to?
Yeah, so the application for 19 Fairmount is for new construction, residential structure. The property is currently a vacant lot. The design does meet guidelines for construction, material, scale, mass, and form. Staff does recommend approval of this agenda item.
Do I have the motion so we can discuss, please?
I move that Eureka Springs Historic District Commission issue a certificate of appropriateness for 19 Fairmont as proposed based on the agreed upon summary of facts as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion or questions of Travis?
I do have some people here for public comments for this one.
Okay.
Okay, good. Travis? There's going to be some good stonework on this house.
Yes, it's Bruce Wright's personal house.
Bruce Wright's going to do it.
I think he can do the stone.
That's wonderful.
Okay.
Lisa Laris, do you want to go first?
State your name and address, please.
I'm Lisa LaRosse, and I live next door at 17 Fairmont.
Okay. Air just kicked in. Okay. now-
At 17 Fairmont.
Much better.
Okay.
Okay.
Did you say we're allowed to make one comment or
3 minutes.
three? Okay, I'll narrow it down to.
Yeah, just
three
one
concerns.
comment for 3 minutes, yes.
Oh, one comment for three.
She's a neighbor, right?
After having the opportunity to look over the plans of the house, I do have some concerns about basically the distance from the side of the house to my property and the runoff of the water. When it rains, we've had some heavy rains, the water going down into my backyard. Floods on that. There is a stone wall that's on his property. My concern is during construction, that could potentially collapse. I want the assurance that he will replace it if it does, because it's going to collapse into my yard, of course.
Can you hear her? Can you hear her?
We have had some issues with the sewer lines. Backing up into my basement, the city sewer line has backed up. So I do have some concerns about adding additional, homes to that specific line.
You live across the street from the property or behind the property?
I live directly next to it, but the way my house is positioned, it's my backyard that is
Right.
along parallel to that property.
You're a level down,
I'm the level down.
Level
correct.
down, okay.
Yes, yes, sir.
and you're worried about runoff?
I'm worried about water runoff because it is a big drop between that property and my backyard. Correct.
I'm sure they'll build a retaining wall of some sort.
I didn't see that on the plan today.
Okay.
Well, I see a French drain.
French drain.
Sorry, we're just doing public comments right now.
Yeah. You guys cannot discuss or talk with her.
Okay, well, we'll discuss it with Travis.
I think that pretty much covers it. I'm just basically concerned about how that's going to affect that wall and the water running down to my yard.
Thank you. Terry Madison.
Please state your name and address.
Terry Madison, 5 Linwood Avenue.
You'll have to talk into the mic. We can't hear you.
Terry Madison, 5 Linwood Avenue.
Terry, you can pull the
Yeah.
down bit.
Right down.
What's your address?
5 Linwood.
Okay.
Okay, Mike, I don't live directly there, but my daughter and I do own property jointly. And my concern is the size of the structure, how much is allowed for building versus the size of the lot. Also, the parking, that's very, very, Fairmount's a very narrow street. There's already a traffic problem there with UPS access and all that. So my concern is just basically the amount of space it will take up on that very narrow lot. And I have seen the plans, I haven't studied them extensively. That's all.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Betsy Rodier.
Hi, I'm Betsy, and I live at 20 Fairmount.
What's your last name, Betsy?
sorry.
Yay. Okay, my concerns are, there appears that there isn't quite 10 feet from the back.
Sorry, will you pull the mic down? Sorry.
I guess I need to be taller.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Okay, my concerns are, it appears that there isn't 10 feet from the boundary line to the stakes. I mean, that should be verified along with the lot size, because if it is 10,000 square feet, isn't a small variance required? Okay, and then we have infrastructure problems on our street already. We've had sewage backup, we've had burst pipes, and it just seems like before we continue doing new construction, maybe we should fix the existing problems, because putting another new construction in it's only gonna create more problems. And then, like her, the same thing with parking. I mean, single-family new construction needs to have 2 9 by 19 feet area for parking. It just doesn't appear between the house and the parking that there's enough room on that lot. They're my concerns. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
I think that's everybody for
Are there
Fairmont.
anybody else that wants to make a public comment on this application? Okay. Travis, you can come back. I do have a question for Kyle. Has this been to planning?
So this has not been to planning. We did an initial site visit with the applicant owners with the previous building inspector. We had come up with a plan. I have not had an opportunity to go over this with the new building official. So yes, there are some questions that were there that we had an understanding with the building official on some of the building codes and planning requirements. We can bring in the new building official to help verify some of that information. But yeah, that's kind of where the application went with the building department.
Where this table does design concept, planning does, like the parking issue that you guys discussed, sewage and all that's building inspector and public works. What do you recommend, Kyle?
Yeah, so you're right. We're just looking at materials, form, scale, character of the neighborhood. If you want to postpone a decision to get some of those questions answered by the new building official, we can definitely do that. Yeah, however the commission wants to handle that.
What do you guys want to wait for planning, or do you
Yes.
guys have enough information to?
I don't have enough information. I'm not comfortable voting.
What do you? Well,
So it has not been before
it
planning?
has not been to planning yet.
No, but it was approved by the previous,
Building inspector,
It was approved by the buildings.
the previous one, yes. Well, we have a motion, so
Is residential required to go to planning? Commercial is required to go to planning.
So the conversation was on the setbacks specifically. Yes, the city code does require 10-foot setbacks. The building official does have a little bit of leeway as far as fire rating, stuff like that, to adjust those numbers a little bit. If it's a significant change, it would need to go to planning for a variance request. Was the conversation that we had with the previous building official.
Whoa,
it's ice cubes now.
that's frozen.
well, any other questions of Travis? Because otherwise, I'm just going to take a vote and we'll see what happens. I mean, since we have a motion on the table. Okay, Frank made the motion, Maggie seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed say, okay. I'm going to do a roll call. Maggie?
Aye.
Christine?
No.
Susan?
No.
Frank?
Aye. Yes.
So that's 2-0. So motion fails. Because we only have 2-0. 2 ayes, 2 nays. We have to have 4 to pass. So bring it back to the new building inspector?
Yes, Travis, I will get with you tomorrow. We'll schedule some time with the new building official, address some of the concerns, and then we can bring it back if we need to revise the plan or what we need to do with that.
Do you need comments on the public comments or anything at this point?
Sorry.
Do you need comments from me about the public comments or anything?
Do you guys?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You're here.
Because we're good with the water control. We'd use silt fences and drainage. And Frank knows we're building over on Mountain Street next to his house. And we've done a good job controlling our water, and we have our own equipment. If there's any infrastructure the city wants to fix while we're there, we can do that also. We have excavators and skid steers, and we can work with Simon to fix things if the city requires us to. And of course, we're going to build within our approved site plans and setbacks, and we have built-in parking on the site plan already.
So you guys can make a new motion on what Travis just said, to accept that he does all of the concerns with the parking, the setbacks, the sewer, as he just said, and revote if you guys want. That's up to you guys.
I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea.
I do too. So you want to make the motion?
I move that the Eureka Springs Historic District Commission issue a certificate of appropriateness at 19 Fairmont as proposed, based on the agreed-upon summary of facts and the facts presented by Travis Holloway.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any questions to Travis on the new proposal that on his parking and any of those things?
Our site plan clearly shows that we're within the setbacks and clearly shows our parking.
I second
Oh,
it.
my goodness, yeah. Ma'am, you can't talk. Okay, Maggie made you guys don't have any other questions for Travis? I'm going to revote on this.
Okay.
Okay, Maggie made the new motion based on Travis's explanation and what he's going to do. Frankie seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Maggie?
Aye.
Christine?
No.
On what basis?
I just don't feel like I know enough about it, and I'm concerned about is there going to be a retaining wall for the water, and I'm concerned that it hasn't gone to planning.
It's not going to go to planning.
It's not going to go to planning at
No,
all?
ma'am.
And I have a concern about a new building inspector. I mean, if all this was done by Jacob, that's what I understand?
It's been approved by the prior inspector,
It's
correct?
been by Jacob, yes.
By the new one?
We have a new one that started
Right.
Monday,
Yeah.
Paul. Help me with his last name.
Paul Sutherland.
Sutherland.
That's right.
He has 2 homes here and has been working back and forth to Wichita and now is going to be here permanent. Okay, and Susan?
No,
And your
I
objection?
think the house is too big for the lot, in my opinion.
And Frankie?
I voted yes. Yay.
Yay. Okay, you stay the same. So it still says 2-0. Mike, we have to have 4.
Yeah. I will get with you tomorrow, Travis, and we can come up with any plan.
Okay. Crystal Terrace Bridge. Parks.
Hi.
Hi,
Yes,
want
ma'am.
to state
How are
your
you?
name?
Yes, Sam Dudley, Parks Director.
Yes, you are the Parks Director.
Yes, yes, I am. Yes, that is me.
He's the one.
Okay, Kyle, you want to read his summary?
So the design proposal is to rehab the Crystal Terrace Bridge, which is up kind of behind the library off of Magnolia. The wood is deteriorated. He's leaving the what's the word I'm looking for?
Like the steel iron.
Yeah. So the only thing that's changing, replacing the deteriorated wood and then updating the railings to meet code. He does have a design plan that prefers the metal railings. This is your preferred, right?
Well, I think probably prefer to be the straight black.
Okay.
Yeah, I've actually have a neighbor with those exact curvy ones, and I'm actually seeing them in person. I'm like, those are pretty not exactly tasteful. Seeing them in person versus on the phone.
So preferred design plan is to use the metal for the balusters, but he has also submitted an option to do cedar to match the rest of the wood if the commission prefers. The design does meet design guidelines for rehabilitation, and staff does recommend approval.
Do I have a motion?
I move that the Eureka Springs Historic District Commission issue a certificate of appropriateness for Crystal Terrace Bridge as proposed based on the agreed upon summary of facts as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Susan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, questions of Sam?
I'm sorry, where is this located?
Yeah,
in
it's a
town?
little tricky to explain. So, you know, the library garden, if you walk up those steps, it leads you up, I don't know, 60, 70 feet of steps, and then kind of curves around. It does a 270, if you will, and then it leads you onto that bridge, and then it pops out right on, I guess that would be
Magnolia.
Crystal Terrace Street. I don't know, it's more of a driveway, but it's, you know, it's a little tricky, but
Okay.
yeah.
Right below the
it's-
greenhouse on Magnolia.
I've never been up there.
You know where the cabin is? Go
Yeah.
across the street?
Yeah.
Okay, it's up behind that lot. It's
Kind of like near that house with the haunted house looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call it the vampire house.
It's in bad shape, guys. I walked up there. The wood is very rotted.
It does, it looks bad.
People shouldn't be
It's
walking.
currently, though, a metal base underneath that. Support beams are metal, aren't they?
Yeah, the support beams are all
You're going to
sound. You know,
continue
there's
with that, right? On the-
yeah, we'll be connecting to those metal structures. So
Good,
I mean,
'cause
it'll be
that'll last a lot longer, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
And what kind of wood is it going to be made out of?
Eastern red cedar.
Red cedar,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the signs?
Yes, yeah, like the signposts. Yeah, and we'll stain it with the same color that the signposts were stained recently, like the kiosks were. So.
So either you're going to use the straight metal, and that would be on the bridge, on the sides, right?
Correct. Yeah, we'll either use
Or
whatever.
do the cedar, either one, whichever.
Yeah, if y'all have a preference, we're fine either way. If not, I'll talk with Adam and see which one he would prefer doing. I don't personally have a preference. I think it'll look great either way. So
And these are the curved ones you don't want,
I
right?
don't really like them. They look kind of cool on a phone screen when you're looking. They look all modern and sleek, but then you actually see them in person, you're kind of like, meh,
Yeah.
they're a little too much. So.
Okay, any other questions? Frankie made the motion, Susan seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Sam.
Am I allowed to make one comment? Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Sam.
We love you.
Make it pretty.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Oh, here's this.
So this is my last one. Okay, 66 Mountain, non-contributing to status of contributing property. Do we, oh, that's Penny.
Hello?
Hey, Penny.
We can hear you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
State your name and address, please.
My name is Penny Pemberton. My address is 448 County Road 207.
Kyle?
Applicant is looking to replace a deteriorated wood foundation on the carriage house / garage ancillary structure. The structure is not contributing to the contributing status of the historic property. There is a partial cement foundation there, and so they're looking to replace the deteriorated wood with a block and concrete. Material does meet design guidelines to enhance the structural integrity, and staff does recommend approval of this agenda item.
Do I have a motion?
I move that the Eureka Springs Historic District Commission issue a certificate of appropriateness for 66 Mountain as proposed, based on the agreed-upon summary of facts as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Questions of Penny?
Penny, they're going to turn this into a little cottage-type sleeping thing?
No,
They're not?
no, this is just going
They
to be
make a
rough.
cute one.
It would be so cute. They had talked about it before COVID, but I believe they're just trying to get it to not fall off the side of the hill at this moment.
Yeah, it needs some restoration for
Sure
sure.
does.
We'd appreciate it not falling off the side of the hill.
My mother's house was,
That sure would make a
one
cute
side of it was
guest house.
seats on the floor, or on the ground too, so it's not a great idea.
Any other questions, comments? Maggie made the motion, Christine seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Penny.
Penny. It's nice to see you. Okay, consent agenda. Our level 1s and 2 projects that the city preservation officer believes to be in accordance with the design guidelines. Any commissioner or member of the public may move any consent agenda item to the regular agenda for discussion. Level 2, 109 wall, Cook, owner, applicant. New ground level decking beneath existing decking on rear of property. Did everybody see that folder and sign it? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Maggie made the motion, Christine seconded. All in favor say, oh, any discussion?
No.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carries 4-0. Administrative approvals are by our city preservation officer. They are minor impact projects, include ordinary maintenance that does not involve a change in materials, new and replacement signs, alterations to non-contributing and/or non-historic structures, excluding major additions or demolition, medium impact projects that meet design guidelines. And these are all listed on our website. Commissioner business. Approval of minutes from July 17th, our regular meeting, and everybody here tonight was present at that meeting. So do I have a motion to accept those minutes?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from July 17th as presented.
I'll second.
Frank made the motion, Susan seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion carries 4-0. Camp discussion's just still on here, right?
Yeah, just in case there's any questions or any new information anybody
Okay.
needs or has.
Our next meeting will be September 4th, 2024. Level 3 applications are due Thursday, August 22nd. Level 2 applicants due Thursday, August 29th. Agenda setting for next meeting. Anybody have anything they want on for the next meeting? I might, after the site visit that we just did. I want to ask about site visits. In the past, until just recently, we've been trying, like 2 weeks ago, we had a site visit, and we tried to do it in that next week. In the past, we just made them wait till like tonight, the next meeting. It seems like it's become an issue. I just wanted to discuss, and maybe we want to put it on for discussion next time, or do you want to just say, if we say vote it down and they need to come back for more information, or we want a site visit, just wait till 2 weeks? Is that easier for everybody because we've already planned that?
I think that the site visits are critical at this point.
Yeah.
I think that they are one of the ways that I learn, certainly. If it is not what we believe it to be, and then the actual diagrams and plans show that it's not going to work, then we can revisit that.
But I meant when we revisit, like, I'm going to take
I
example
want the
to
site
Judith.
visit first.
Well, but to Judith, they came 2 weeks ago.
I know, and I wasn't
And we
here.
said, we want a site visit. We couldn't get them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it finally got postponed till tonight. So like if to Judith would have been, that night, and we just said it would be the 21st of August automatically when we go. I know what Maggie's saying, that in the past, we used to have site visits before our meetings on almost all level 3s or anything we thought was questionable, which did help, where we're supposed to be driving by and looking at them now, but you feel it's better.
I kind of misstated, Dee. I'm sorry. I want to back my comment up to that let's try not to do a site visit prior to seeing it, and then certainly do one should there be any questions in our mind.
Okay, but if there's questions in our mind, and this is my question, and we say we want a site visit afterwards,
Yes.
do we automatically, instead of trying to rush and do it in the 2-week period, just say the next meeting?
I think that'd be good.
We can try.
That way
Because we've
everybody
had
will be
2
at the-
cases, we've had to roll it over to our meeting because it's hard to get 6 people.
Unless it's an emergency situation.
I
like
started
with
to
the
say,
city.
couldn't we
Yeah,
put it for
then
the
do it-
2-week period, and then if there is an emergency or something like that, there's a special meeting. We
Yeah,
can-
I mean, we could do a special meeting case by case,
Case.
but I think
Case by case.
in a way, it would just be better to say, okay,
We'll put this on the agenda for the next meeting.
because that seems to be what's happening, and then everybody has a good feel or knows what's going to happen.
We used to do it like that.
Yeah, we used to do it like
Unless
that.
it was a special case for the city or for parks or somebody like that.
Well, or just an emergency. I mean, if something's
Yeah.
falling off the hill,
Then,
we
you know,
need to
we
get
make an
it done.
exception.
And driving by doesn't hurt either.
No.
It's a good idea.
So I think we should do that. Make it easier
Yeah.
than trying to rally all these commissioners together for a quorum.
Yeah, that makes sense. If we want to just, anything that's postponed at this meeting, roll it over to the next meeting as old business, unless there's an emergency, and then we can call a special meeting.
Aye.
Okay. Public comments? Are you here for a public comment?
Come up to the microphone right here.
State your name and address,
Amy
please.
Wilkie. I live at 15 Pivot Rock Road, apartment A1, and I'm new to Eureka, and please forgive me, but I was just curious to see how the meetings went. My son's at Boy Scouts, so I'm sorry I was late. But I was curious about the job posting.
Oh,
My background is in community development, and I have a degree in geography, and I have worked for 15 years using ArcGIS So
You'll need to talk to the mayor's office about that.
is that what that is? Okay, I wasn't sure because I think it said Historical
Yes,
Preservation District.
but the mayor hires that position.
And where?
And it's just across the parking lot right here.
Okay. so
Yeah, in the
come-
basement
come
level, yeah.
Before 5 o'clock over there and
Yeah.
talk to the mayor?
Yeah, we are just volunteer commissioners that sit here.
Okay.
Kyle is paid staff.
Okay.
And he's the person leaving us. And,
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
welcome to
Thanks for-
town.
Welcome to the town.
Yeah, thank you. Well, y'all-
You're welcome. Commissioner comments, Maggie.
I just heard this evening about my friend Kyle, and it saddens me. I wish I could make it disappear, and other than that, I think it was an okay meeting. Thank you.
Christine?
Yeah, it double saddens me because he's a neighbor and on this commission, so I'm very sad that Kyle is leaving.
Susan?
I'm not too ecstatic about it either.
Well, we're all dancing on the table, Susan.
No, I'm not.
I just want to say, what can we do, Kyle?
Frank?
What can we do?
Comments?
You know how I feel.
I know. And my comments are, I'm sad too,
We'll
so.
see what tomorrow brings.
Director comments.
Thank you, everybody, for your kind words. It's been great. I appreciate you guys. The community appreciates you guys. So, yeah, thank you.
And do I have an adjournment, please?
I make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Christine made the motion, Frankie seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. Motion carries 4-0. Turn.